Mr. Money, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, it's my understanding that one of the things that we have to do while we are here is to pass a budget. Is that correct?
That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Money, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Are you aware that your subcommittees on appropriations met and allocated billions of taxpayer dollars in violation of Rule 4, Section 19A, which requires audio and video recordings to be posted on the internet so that the people of Texas can have transparency on how their tax dollars have been spent?
Pursuant to note on page 10 of the House Rules Manual, the chair respectfully declines to respond to inquiries seeking the chair's comments or views on committee proceedings.
Okay. Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Money, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
When and how can a member of this body appeal the Republican and Democrat chairman's decisions so that you can rule on whether the House will operate transparently according to the rules?
Mr. Money, that is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Money, for what purpose?
I'm asking parliamentary rules. How and when can we make those inquiries?
Mr. Money, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to know when would be an appropriate time to make those if page 10 says we can't do it today.
Mr. Money, for what purpose?
Okay. Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when and how can a member of this body make a proper parliamentary inquiry into dealings of committees of this House?
So I have already answered the question. That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Mr.
Mr.
Speaker,
Schatzline, for what purpose?
parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Who approves recognitions on the floor of this chamber?
That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Schatzline, for what purpose?
parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
If I inquire on who approves recognitions on this chamber during the time of recognitions, will the chair answer this question?
Mr. Schatzline, I do not believe that is a proper parliamentary inquiry. I'm assuming you can figure out who that is for yourself.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Schatzline, for what purpose?
parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
May I come down and we discuss this so
Sure.
that I can get an answer for the many representatives that have asked me?
Come on down.
Thank you.
Mr. Harrison, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
State your inquiry.
While you are correct in the citation you referenced on your, I think, your first or second response to Representative Money's inquiries, that the House rules do not, in fact, require you to answer these questions, my question to you is there anything in the House rules that precludes you from answering any of the questions that you were just asked?
That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
So you could answer them if you wanted to.
That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Yeah.